How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to try to answer the question, to mod or not mod? Yep, I got two beautiful girls here, and what's the answer? Is there an answer? Right or wrong? Let's delve into it. It is a very big question, and any car guy or gal for that matter will find themselves asking it all the time. To mod my car or not to mod my car? I mean, let's face it, we buy these things, we pay a lot of money for them, and we want to make them ours. Yes, when we first get them, we're like, oh, that is such a cool car, I love it just the way it is, yada yada. And then the questions start coming up, well, mine looks just like that one, mine looks just like that one. So what do you do? It's a big question. Once you start modding your car, it is a never-ending journey to get it just the way you want it, because one thing will lead to another, to another, to another. Like I put the Z28 rear spoiler on mine. I love it. I want to put the Z28 front spoiler on mine. That is really aggressive, so once I do that, I know I'm going to have to change the rims. Everybody and their grandmother has the Z28 rims. Me personally, if I get them, I'm either thinking about the brushed finish or the gold finish, because it's being a red car, the gold wheels would look really good. But my point is once you start doing one thing, it's one thing after another, because that's the way to fix it, you know. And you've got to decide as an owner, what do you want your car for? Do you want it to be a daily driver? Do you want it to be a weekend show queen? Just a weekend fun car? Do you want it to be a drag queen? What are you looking for? Most of us start out buying this car to enjoy. We want to drive it. We want to enjoy it. And then as we get to driving it, we see other people that have them. You know, cool, there's another one. Hey, how you doing? And then all of a sudden we start seeing other ones that have other things done to them. That looks good. I like to do that to mine. And then it starts that thought process. So you start looking online. You start looking in the magazines. You start looking on the forums. And soon you're going down that yellow brick road. And like I said, there's no right wrong, there's no wrong answer. It's what you want. But there's just a few things that I want you to be prepared for when you start making these choices, because they're not simple, especially when you go after the power. Now there are ways to do it and it be reliable, but once you start going down the power road, the power trip if you will, it's a never-ending process, and there's a bunch of stuff you need to be prepared for. Say for instance you want to put on headers. Okay, you put on full-length headers. Well, now it needs a tune. Why does it need a tune? Because it's got more airflow. There's more air going in, out, so it needs more air going in. Well, then you got to adjust the air-fuel ratio and all that stuff, and you need better airflow in and all that great stuff. So there's a tune. And I've seen this happen to so many guys that I know on YouTube, and I actually feel sorry for them as they start down this road. And I try to warn them ahead of time, but it's your car, do what you want. And 9 times out of 10 they don't listen. Just like this one guy I know, okay, he started off with cold air intake and a couple other little small things, got it tuned. Then he did a few other things, had to get a tune. Then he decided he wanted to put a cam in it. Cam sounded real good. The car was still reliable, okay, not a problem, but he had to have another tune. So then he started messing with the exhaust. Well, he got the exhaust changed out and everything. Guess what? Another tune. Then he went down the road of wanting to try to find somebody to sponsor his channel. You know, great, more power to you. I want my car boosted too. But I know what to expect, and I personally have done a ton of research. I didn't just jump in. Well, he went the route of going to the blower, okay? The centrifugal supercharger, the one that sits off of the engine, not on the engine. So he gets it, and it's not putting out what he thinks it should be putting out. It's for a totally different type of car, different make of car, but they also make them for his car. So he puts it on, and it's not making the power he's wanting it to. So rather than research and check and, you know, make sure everything's up to snuff, he starts ordering smaller pulleys. Now these engines in stock form can handle a ton of power. They really can. They are super great engines. That's why everybody wants to LS swap everything. It's the perfect engine for doing whatever you want to do. But when this particular guy, and I'm not going to call out his name out of respect because I really like the guy, I like his channel, I like his content, he just had a run of bad luck. He started, like I said, going after the pulley, smaller and smaller and smaller. Well, one day he discovered he had an air leak, okay? Somewhere along his intake line, he had an air leak. It was sucking in more air through there than the pulley was putting in. And it was actually allowing the air from the supercharger to escape. It wasn't going in the engine. So he fixed it, tightened it down, drove it down the road just like normal, got on it. What do you think happened? Tow truck time. And I hate it for the guy, I really did. You know, he's trying so hard to enjoy his car and all this stuff. Well, during this process and everything, especially after he first put the supercharger on, well, now it's not a daily driven car anymore. He bought a secondary car to start driving. And it happens to everybody that does this, goes down this route. The car is no longer a daily driver. Now, why is it not a daily driver anymore? Well, there's several reasons. Number one, it's breaking down now. Number two, he's got so much stuff involved in it and everything. He's using more gas. So he wants something, or any individual wants something that's cheaper on gas, okay? Well, now it's relegated to being a weekend car. Well, you know how that is. But back to the story. Now he's done had to put another engine in it because it spun a rod bearing, I think, and a couple other things happened to it. It just totally messed up the engine. Now he could have re-sleeved the engine. It actually cracked the walls in the block. Now he could have re-sleeved it and made it back to what it was. Went up with the pulley size again and been just fine. But he decided to go full blown, get another engine and all this great stuff. Well, now it's pretty much a drag car. It's pretty much what it is. And you can check out, it's happened to everybody. I mean, you can look at Guitar Armageddon, and I hate even mentioning that name, but you can look at him. He went down the same path. So he took his car, started making it into a drag car. You know, nothing's fast enough. And at what expense? I mean, what are you after? You don't race it. You're not trying to earn money with it racing and everything. I know you get money from YouTube, but at what end are you doing this? So, you know, this is a lot of things that you, as a car owner or a car person, need to think about. Do you want it to be a daily driver? Just hop in it and go. Do you want to make it a show queen? And then you're not going to want to take it out because it could rain, dirt could get on it, stuff like that. So now it's no longer a car that you're going to drive and have fun with. Or do you want it to be some high horsepower thing? Or are you like me, you're going to try to find a middle ground? Because one day, either this car or my black car, I am going to boost it. I'm going to put a centrifugal supercharger on it. If I live that long. Today's world, you just don't know. But if that happens, I'm not going wild. I'm staying on the conservative side. It's going to be just a daily driven car. And look at Lethal Camaro and what he did. He started out, he had the 6th gen, he really enjoyed it. Then he wanted to build it to where it was faster than a ZL1. Okay, great, go for it. You know, it's your money, your car. Well, then he got to where he went full on race car. Now, is he racing it? No, he just takes it to the tracks and has it fun, trying to become the fastest, you know, yada 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 car of its type. And there's always somebody that's going to be faster. And there's always somebody that's going to be faster. So what I'm trying to get, the point I'm trying to get across to you in this video. Yes, modding is fun. Make the car yours. Make the car what you want. But just be advised before you go down either one of these roads. You can sit here and you can take a chart, a piece of paper. Keep stock. Write down all the things you'll have to do to it. Right? Tires and wheels eventually. Just because these get old, they get scuffed. Brakes, oil changes, stuff like that. Show queen. Well, you're going to want to put body kits on it, different paints, maybe a different wrap, stuff like that, you know. And here's the cost, and here's the bottom end, how much, you know. Then you come over to the street performer, you know, keep it mild, could still drive it whenever I want to, go across country if I want to. Full-blown race car, and here's everything I'm going to have to do. Weigh your cost, weigh the options, but first and foremost, you are going to have to make the decision. What do I want to do with this car? what do I want to do with it? Do I want to enjoy it daily, right? Or if I already have a second car, do I want to be able to swap whenever I want to and just hop in it and go? Or do I want it to be something that I can take out on the weekends and have a little bit of fun with? Or do I really want to go full bore? But I just want to put these options out there because a lot of them, most people don't think about when they go to modding their cars. Think about this stuff ahead of time. Anything that you do to these cars now, as far as motor related, you're going to have to get it retuned. Once you go to messing with the body, well, now you got to get stuff painted. You know, all this stuff adds up. None of it's cheap. What's in your budget? What's your end game? So until next time, I hope I shed some light on some things you may not have thought of. And until the next video, we'll see you. Thanks so much for watching.